Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. In this episode, I am pleased to present one of the 7 Admirals of Earth, Dalphone Pappenheim, and his extraordinary journey across the galaxy. I'm glad to have completed this project. Please enjoy the presentation.
Chapter 1. Shadows in the Dark. The wind howled across the jagged, weather-scarred wall 100 paces from where Dalphone Pappenheim and Fleet Admiral Xerianer sat, their wine glasses glinting under the bruised Tuscan sky. Beyond the wall sprawled the Colons, a city of gleaming spires and shadowed alleys, its beauty a cruel mask for the machinations brewing within. Dalphone, one of Earth's 7 admirals from the ancient Pappenheim nobility, leaned back in his chair, his sharp hazel eyes scanning the horizon. His uniform, crisp yet subtly worn, bore the scars of countless campaigns, much like the man himself, cool, calculated, always ready. "Family holding up, Dalphone." Xeriener's voice cut through the wind, his tone warm but probing. The Fleet Admiral, Earth's highest-ranking officer, swirled his wine, the ruby liquid catching the dying light. His silver hair gleamed, but his eyes held a predator's glint. Dalphone smirked, a flicker of amusement crossing his chiseled face. "Varel's thriving, as always. My brother's an admiral like me, runs his fleet tighter than a neutron star. His son-in-law, Nevin, just entered the academy. The Pappenheim blood runs strong." He took a sip, savoring the Tuscan vintage, but his mind was elsewhere, on the chessboard of galactic power. Xeriener chuckled, gesturing to the soldiers dining under an open canopy nearby, their laughter muffled by the wind. "Good to keep your men close, Dalphone. But you know what's better? Keeping your enemies closer." His voice dropped, a conspiratorial edge creeping in. "What's the word on the Carwick affair?" Dalphone's smirk faded, his gaze hardening. "Nicholas Carwick's the official scapegoat, branded a mad dictator, slaver, the whole script. Media's eating it up. But the truth?" He leaned forward, voice low. "The Rocks and Balamars want him dead. He's grown too powerful, won't play their game. I got it straight from Carter Weinberger, Rock's lapdog in the Ministry of Defense. They're mobilizing Starfleet ships to hit Greece and South Europe's coast. Left a trail of devastation in a cracked Earth defense particle laser. Carter could have used it to wipe out cities." Xeriener's eyes narrowed, his fingers tightening on his glass. "And now he's in the Wenden System, cozying up with space pirates. Pirate Lord Nicholas, they call him. Word is he's allied with Gentis, our disgraced rear admiral, who lost to the Xerians in a duel. Those dark, hidden creatures. They're no myth. Gentis returned to Earth, killed his friend Redwig in a rage, then fled to Wenden. Now they're hitting our convoys, backed by pirates and, rumor has it, Magner and Xerian tech." Dalphone's jaw clenched, but his voice stayed smooth, betraying none of the fury beneath. "Darian Montez reports they're funding the Calidarian rebellion, too. It's a power play. Xeriener. They're testing us, probing our defenses. And the Xerianer. Their pirate lord, Black Hand, is the key. Reverend Saul, noble-born, burned in some colony disaster. He kept his charred hand as a badge, slaughtered his own kind, and built a renegade fleet. He knows Xeriener's secrets we need." Xeriener leaned back, steepling his fingers. "The Xeriener won't let us use the chronovisor to dig in the Black Hand's past. Their beneficial friendship nonsense. Build a farm, stay out of our business. They're hiding something. Always have. They want to be the galaxy's dominant race, just like Earth's old empires, drunk on power. And power, Dalphone, corrupts absolutely." Dalphone's lips curled into a cold smile. "They think we're fools, but I see the board. Earth's tech could crush them, yet something or someone holds us back. The Rocks, the Balamars, they're playing a long game. If this escalates, we're headed for a civil war. Armies picking sides, Earth tearing itself apart." Xeriener's face darkened, but he nodded. "Pray it doesn't come to that. But we're not here to mourn the future. Your mission." He slid a hollow pad across the table, its display flickering to life with a star map. "The Magner giants and Xerians are watching Earth. Darian thinks the Magners have agents on the Xeriener homeworld already. Black Hand's your way in. Get to Wenden, contact the pirates, Nicholas, Gentis, Saul. Use diplomacy, charm, whatever it takes. Find out what the Xerianer are planning. Officially, you're investigating pirate attacks and anomalies. Take your best men, Dalphone. This could change everything." Dalphone's eyes gleamed as he pocketed the holopad. "Consider it done, sir." He rose, his movements fluid, predatory. "I'll bring you answers, and maybe a few pirate heads if they don't play nice." Reginar laughed, but it was hollow. "Don't underestimate Wenden, Dalphone. It's a snake pit. And those Ets, they're not just pirates. They're shadows in a storm." Dalphone turned, his coat snapping in the wind. "Good. I thrive in storms." He strode toward the wall, Colin's spires looming like silent sentinels. The game was on, and Dalphone Pappenheim was ready to play. Chapter 2, Departure into the Unknown. The Vener hummed with restrained power, its sleek hull cutting through the void as Earth's blue marble faded into the starfield. Inside, the air was thick with anticipation and suspicion. Admiral Dalphone Pappenheim stood on the bridge, his sharp hazel eyes scanning the crew. Conflict were his crucible, and he thrived in their heat, but this mission reeked of chaos waiting to erupt. The Wenden System loomed ahead, a lawless snake pit of pirates, Ets, and secrets that could ignite a galactic war. Dalphone's lips curled into a faint, dangerous smile. He was ready. He'd handpicked his inner circle, loyalty forged in blood and battle. First Lieutenant M.C. Pompey Malleus, a grizzled tactician with a scar-riddled face and unshakable resolve. Chief Technical Lieutenant Derek Darien, a wiry genius who could coax miracles from fried circuits. Operations Officer Catherine Phlox, whose cool precision under fire hit a fierce streak. These were his blades, honed and trusted. The rest of the crew? Loyal enough, but Dalphone knew better than to trust blindly. Spies were everywhere. The bridge doors hissed open, and the comms officer snapped to attention. "Admiral, channels are clear. Ready for your address." Dalphone nodded, striding to the central console. "It's showtime," he muttered, his voice laced with dark amusement. He tapped the control, and the view screen flared to life, projecting his image to every deck. The crew fell silent, their eyes locked on their admiral, a man who walked the line between hero and renegade. "Officers," Dalphone began, his voice smooth but edged with steel. "As of 0600 hours, Starfleet Command has greenlit the Venturis for the Wenden System. Long-range scans confirm cloaked vessels, pirate signatures, jagged and hostile, operating beyond Earth's reach." He tapped another control, and the screen displayed a holo of the pirate ships, sleek, predatory, bristling with stolen tech. "This isn't just a hunt," he continued, his gaze sweeping the bridge. "Starfleet's mandate is clear. We seek understanding before we burn. Our primary objective is diplomatic contact with these pirates. We'll reason with them if they're willing, or neutralize them if they're not. The colonies in this sector can't afford their raids." He paused, letting the weight settle. The screen flickered, shifting to a swirling nebula, its colors bruised and unnatural. But there's more. Deep scans in Sector Virax show gravimetric distortions, data spikes we've seen only once before. We're sailing into contested space, likely shared by the Magnar giants and Xerians, a species known only through garbled signals and blood-soaked rumors. A murmur rippled through the crew, but Dalphone's stare silenced it. "This is why we exist. Exploration. Knowledge. Peace through strength. Prep away teams for recon. Science Division mapped those anomalies with long-range sensors. If we're lucky, and I mean damn lucky, we'll make first contact with pirates, Magnars, maybe even Xerians. We leave orbit in 1 hour. Dismiss." The screen went dark, and Dalphone turned to his lieutenants. "Pompey, Derek, Catherine, private room. Now." In the dimly lit briefing chamber, Dalphone leaned against the table, his posture relaxed but his eyes burning with intent. The hollow map of Wenden glowed above, its defenses marked in crimson, railguns, minefields, cloaked sentries. His crew sat tense, waiting for the real mission. "The Fleet Admiral's intel is grim," Dalphone said, his voice low. "The pirate lords are no strangers. Nicholas Carwick, former Rear Admiral, once ruled Earth's southern coast in secret. Now he's Pirate Lord Nicholas, allied with ex-Starfleet Commander Gentis, who lost a duel to the Xerians and turned traitor. They're hitting our supply lines hard, backed by a Xerianer renegade, Rebrian Saul, a.k.a. Black Hand. He's our target. Black Hand's a priority, not the humans. What do we know? Dalphone gestured, and the ship's AI, Kirlin, projected a dossier. Rebrian Saul, noble born on a Xerianer colony, knows their tech, their power structure, their secrets. After a colony disaster burned his hand, he kept it as a badge, slaughtered his own, and built a pirate empire. He's our key to the Xerianer's true agenda, likely a war with the Maginers with Earth as their pawn. Derek leaned forward, his fingers twitching. Wenden's defenses are brutal. Railguns that'll shred us, stasis nets, the works. How do we slip through? Dalphone's smirk returned, cold and confident. We don't brute force it. The Venter goes alone, no fleet. I've got a plan, a distraction. Our neutrinian light detector can track their translite jumps. We'll intercept their patrols, stage a skirmish, then slip through the chaos. Protocols? We follow them. Until something unexpected happens. His eyes gleamed. Like rogue battleships showing up, Catherine's eyes narrowed. You expect spies in our fleet, don't you? Count on it, Dalphone said, his voice flat. Earth's elite, the Rocks, the Balamars are itching for a war. The Xerianer are pulling strings, and some of our commanders are their puppets. We can't trust Starfleet's chain of command. Catherine paled. Can we even trust this ship? Dalphone's grin was wolfish. Relax, Phlox. Derek and I swapped out half the hardware with black market gear. Earth's override codes won't touch us. We're freer than you think. Pompey crossed his arms, skeptical. And if Black Hand won't talk? Dalphone's smirk turned predatory. Then we make him. I don't bet on luck, Pompey. I bet on me. He straightened, his presence filling the room. The next few days will decide if Earth burns or fights back. Stick to my plan, ditch the AI crutches, and we'll come out on top. Trust me, I see only victory. Pompey snorted. Don't overplay your hand, Dalphone. Dalphone chuckled, the sound dark and unyielding. Never do, my friend. Never do. Chapter 3. Brawl. In the Wenden System. The Wenden System was a graveyard of shattered asteroids and forgotten dreams, its crimson nebulae casting an eerie glow over the Venturis as it dropped out of translite. Dalphone Pappenheim stood on the bridge, his hazel eyes narrowed, scanning the void. The pirates' last attack had bled this sector dry, and now the Venturis was here to hunt, or bargain. Dalphone's lips twitched into a predatory smirk. Chaos was his playground, and he held all the cards. Scans complete, Admiral, Derek Darien reported, his fingers dancing over the console. Chronovisor data's being processed. Experts will have a report soon. Dalphone nodded. Let them dig. I want answers. He turned to the holomap where his fleet's positions glowed. Ships under Commanders Rudolph Kirch and Magnus Anderson scouring neighboring systems for pirate signals. So far, nothing. But Dalphone wasn't here for a clean sweep. His real plan simmered beneath the surface, waiting for the right spark. The comms crackled, and Captain Flock's voice cut through. Admiral reports in. Pirates are holed up in a battle station, asteroid belt, neighboring system. Heavy defenses, particle cannons, energy weapons, stasis shields. Dalphone's smirk widened. Jackpot. He opened a channel to the fleet. All ships form up for assault. We hit their fortress hard and fast. Kirch, Anderson, you're on flanks. Venturis takes the center. Move. The fleet surged forward, slicing through the dust-choked void. The asteroid belt loomed, a jagged fortress bristling with cannons. Energy beams lanced out, searing the Venturis shields. Dalphone gripped the command rail, unfazed. Helmsman, evasive maneuvers. Keep us dancing. Aye, Admiral. The helmsman, a grizzled Eastern European with steady hands, growled. I'll keep her singing docked. Then chaos erupted. Pirate battleships, Vender-class, stolen and souped up, dropped from cloak, their guns blazing. Rudolph's flank buckled under a barrage, his comms alive with static and shouts. Dalphone's eyes flicked to the tactical display. Magnus punched through their defenses. I need time to save Kirch. Roger that, Magnus snapped, his ships diving into the fray. Dalphone's voice was ice. Heavy ships, front line. Cover Rudolph. Now. The Venturi shuddered as energy weapons grazed its armor, but Dalphone's focus never wavered. This battle was a means to an end, a distraction for his real move. "Pompey, Catherine," he said, switching to a private channel. "Take the stealth shuttle. Infiltrate that station. Find someone who talks. You've got this." "On it, Admiral," Pompey replied, his voice rough but steady. The asteroid station was a labyrinth of rusted corridors and flickering lights, its air heavy with ozone and blood. Pompey Malleus and Catherine Phlox moved like shadows, their stealth suits blending with the gloom. Pompey's scarred face was set, his pulse rifle humming low. Catherine's eyes darted, mapping every angle, her blade ready. They reached a guarded chamber, its door sealed. Catherine hacked a panel, sparks flying as she bypassed the lock. Inside, a pirate lieutenant, tattooed, cybernetic eye glowing, spun, weapon raised. His crew, a ragtag mix of humans and ETS, bristled. "Easy," Pompey said, lowering his rifle but keeping his finger near the trigger. "I'm MC Pompey Malleus, Starfleet. Risk my neck slipping through your guns to talk, not fight. Take me to your boss." The lieutenant sneered. "Starfleet? You're either stupid or suicidal. Why should we trust you?" Pompey's grin was all teeth. "Because I'm here, aren't I? Dodged your cannons, walked into your den with my hands half down. My admiral's out there, bleeding ships to keep this parley quiet. You want a bloodbath? Keep shooting. You want a deal? Let me see your lord." Catherine stepped forward, her voice cold. "We know you're hitting Earth convoys. We also know you're not just pirates. You've got magnetech, maybe Xerianer. We're not here to burn you out, not yet. Talk, and we all walk away." The lieutenant's eye whirred, scanning them. Seconds ticked by, the air taut. Finally, he lowered his gun. "You've got guts, I'll give you that. Follow me." But one wrong move and you're space dust. They were led through twisting passages to a command chamber where a figure waited, a pirate lord, cloaked in shadow, flanked by armed guards. His voice rasped, low and dangerous. "Starfleet, huh? Your admiral wants words? He'll get 'em, face to face. Coordinates are yours. Don't make me regret this." Pompey nodded, memorizing the data. "You won't. We're playing straight, but now." Back on the Venturis, the battle raged. Rudolph's ships limped to safety, Magnus holding the line. The comms buzzed, and Pompey's voice crackled through. "Admiral, we're in. Pirate Lord wants to talk. Sending coordinates." Dalphone's eyes gleamed. "Perfect." He opened the fleet channel. "Kirch, Anderson, stand down. This fight's a draw, and that's how I want it. Scan nearby systems for anomalies. Wait for reinforcements. These pirates have heavy metal. We can't crack 'em yet." Magnus' voice cut in sharp. "Admiral, they're weakened. We could blast their station from orbit. Why pull back?" Dalphone's tone was steel. "Not now, Magnus. Pompey's got intel. We're moving to another system to cut the head off this snake. Stay sharp, stay in contact." He cut the channel, leaning back in his chair. The pirates had taken the bait, and his hidden plan was unfolding. Wenden awaited, and with it, Black Hand's secrets. Dalphone's smirk returned cold and unyielding. The galaxy was a chessboard, and he was about to checkmate. Chapter 4. Shadows of Wenden. The Venturis hung in low orbit above Big Five, the Wenden System's crown jewel, a planet of sprawling oases and lawless sprawl, where lush greenery masked a cesspool of crime. Dalphone Pappenheim stood at the shuttle bay, his sharp hazel eyes scanning the horizon. His plan had worked. Pompey and Catherine's infiltration in Dust Verin had opened the door to the pirate lords. "Medals for you both," he said, his voice low but laced with approval. "You parked the fleet exactly where I wanted. Now we move." Pompey grunted, his scarred face unreadable. "Magnus will be sniffing around, contacting quadrant commanders. We need to wrap this up before they suspect." Derek, tinkering with a handheld scanner, frowned. "What's our story to ask what intel we got?" Dalphone's smirk was cold. Half-truths. The pirates gave us coordinates to a high-profile treasure, something to sell to the Admiralty. Keeps them off our backs. Catherine's eyes narrowed, sharp as ever. And you're betting the pirate lords will hand us something real to make it stick? Exactly, Dalphone said, his grin widening. This is a trust game. We play right, we all profit. The comms crackled. Admiral, we're clear for landing on Big 5. Dalphone adjusted his coat, the fabric snapping in the recycled air. Let's meet some pirates. Big 5 surface was a contradiction. Emerald oases ringed by dust-choked slums, where security was a myth and betrayal was currency. As Dalphone and his lieutenants disembarked, armed guards escorted them through crowded streets. A scream pierced the air. A man, eyes wild with rage, clutched an old woman, choking out, "I forgive you." Her hands clawed at his face, but he held tight, tears streaming as she gasped, collapsed, and died. Whispers followed. She sold him as a child. First time he saw her. Squeezed her lifeless. Dalphone's jaw tightened. Some planet, he muttered. Laws here are as tight as a noose. Pompey snorted. Pirate paradise. Stay sharp. They reached a fortified compound, its doors hissing open to reveal a dimly lit chamber. 5 figures sat at a crescent table, their silhouettes radiating menace. Nicholas Carwick, in a garish pink coat, rose first, his grin sharp as a blade. Dalphone of House Pappenheim. My father spoke highly of your kin. Welcome to our den. Dalphone's eyes locked onto him, unflinching. Nicholas Carwick, in the flesh and bolder than ever. I remember you. Nicholas laughed, but it was hollow, edged with danger. Sit, Admiral. Your lieutenants can stand behind. They'll hear everything. Meet my counsel, Gendy's ex-rear admiral turned noble pirate, half-faced Craig, silent but deadly, red giant devil Borges, who breaks what he doesn't like, and Rebrian Saul, Black Hand, our Xerianer renegade. Dalphone took his seat, his posture relaxed but his gaze cutting. Thanks for the welcome. Pompey told you why we're here. We risked our necks in Varen to get to you. Now let's talk. Well, since we don't have much time, I'll be honest, I need Xerianer secrets. A Xerianer officer, his scales glinting, slammed a fist on the table. You think you can waltz in and demand our lord's secrets? Who do you think you are, human? Saul raised his charred, blackened hand, silencing the outburst. His eyes, deep-set and haunted, met Dalphone's. Enough. Dalphone, you want truth. What will you do with it? Dalphone leaned forward, voice steady. Depends on what it is. But I'm not here to burn bridges, not yet. Nicholas stood, whispering briefly to Saul, his expression unreadable. Saul nodded, his voice low, almost broken. You want my secrets, Admiral? Fine. But first, a favor. Do this and I'll give you what you need, and more. The room grew colder, the air thick with mistrust. Dalphone's smirk didn't waver. Name it. Saul's gaze drifted, his burned hand twitching. I killed my own Dalphone. Hundreds. Maybe thousands. After the colony fire, I turned on my kind, nobles, soldiers, kin. I carved my path in blood, built this council from the ashes. But deep down, he paused, his voice cracking. I want change. For my people. For the galaxy. The Xerianer are plotting war against the Magners with Earth as their pawn. They've allied with your rocks and Balamars, a scheme centuries in the making. Build Earth into a weapon, let it bleed against the Magners, then sweep in for the kill. Nicholas cut in, his tone bitter. I don't need to be Xerianer to know this. They talk openly at the top, then brainwash your leaders for war. It's coming, Dalphone. Dalphone's eyes narrowed, but his voice stayed cool. We suspected as much. Shocking, but not surprising. We need agents on the Xerianer homeworld. Can you make that happen, Saul? Saul's gaze hardened, but a flicker of pain crossed his face. I can. It'll cost lives, mine, theirs. My people's hatred for the Magners runs deep, a poison in our blood. I broke free when I saw the truth. Our masters use us, discard us when we outshine them. This council is my home now. He glanced at the Magner, Devil Borges, who nodded silently. We'll get you a contact. A human, Ellen Dravid. Technician, loyal. She'll carry an encrypted comms device tied to her life. If she dies, it's useless. That's our link. Dalphone nodded. And the favor? Saul leaned forward, his voice a whisper. Nebeco 1. Our station there went dark. 5 heavy ships, gone. We suspect remnants of an ancient civilization. Playing God too long. Go there. Find out what happened. Dalphone's smirk returned, sharp and dangerous. Done. But I need something from you. The Wenden System station, I've got the Admiralty breathing down my neck to take it. Evacuate it. Let us claim a win. Can you make it vanish? Gentis, his face half hidden in shadow, spoke up. We can. We'll shift it to quantum space, beyond your chronovisors. But we'll leave a trail to Nebek 01. Follow it fast, Admiral. Something stirring there. Dalphone stood, his coat snapping as he saluted. Challenge accepted. We'll meet again if we survive. His eyes gleamed with cold confidence as he led his team out, the weight of Saul's confession lingering. A killer with a heart, yearning for redemption. Dalphone could use that. The galaxy was a chessboard, and he was still in check. Chapter 5, Assault from the Unknown. The Venturas limped back to the rendezvous point, its hull scarred from the Varen brawl. Admiral Dalphone Pappenheim stood on the bridge, his hazel eyes burning with fury he refused to voice. The Xerianer's plot, sacrificing Earth as a pawn in their war against the Magners, gnawed at him, a betrayal that stoked a cold, relentless anger. But Dalphone was no fool. Rage was a tool, not a master. He'd play their game, and he'd win. Catherine, Derek, he said, his voice low and steady. Our new crew member, Ellen Dravid. She's a contractor, technical oversight. Forge her a cover as a cadet. She stays with us. Yes, Admiral, they replied in unison, saluting before vanishing to handle the paperwork. Dalphone turned to the view screen, where the fleet regrouped. Magnus Anderson's and Rudolph Kirch's ships battered but ready. Status, he barked. Pompey's growly voice answered. Fleet's in good spirits, Admiral. Awaiting orders. Dalphone's smirk was a blade. Good. Here's the play. We tell the Admiralty we hit Wenden, got intel from spies. The pirates put up a fight, then gave us coordinates to their hub in Varen, a data vault with convoy plans. We attacked, they teleported the station into quantum space. Stealth tech, personnel escaped. But they left a trail to Nebek 01, their real headquarters. That's where we're headed. Catherine raised an eyebrow. You're lying to cover the pirate deal? Half lying, Dalphone corrected, his tone cool. Keeps the Admiralty off our backs while we chase the real prize, Nebek 01. Before anyone could respond, the comms flared. Admiral, 5 Xerianer ships inbound, led by Bandama, Admiral Kuros. Ellen's eyes widened, a flicker of fear crossing her face. Do they suspect something? Dalphone's nod was grim. Maybe. Open a channel. Kuros' scaled face filled the screen, his eyes glinting like polished obsidian. Greetings, Admiral Dalphone. Heard you had pirate trouble. We came to assist, but it seems you handled it. Scanned the area yet? Dalphone's smile was razor-sharp. Bondam, our spies confirm it. Kuros' mandibles twitched. Curious. We detected high-energy signatures there. Shall we meet in system? No time to waste. Agreed, Dalphone said, cutting the feed. His smirk faded. Too convenient. Ellen whispered, We got lucky. Pompey snorted. Lucky? If they turn on us, Earth's protocol is clear. Xerianer story wins. They could kill us, and Earth would bury it. The bridge fell silent, the bitter truth sinking in. Dalphone's voice cut through. Then we don't let them. Prep for Nebek 01. And stay sharp. The Nebek 01 system was a void of flickering stars and ominous silence, broken by a sudden, bone-chilling sight. A silver-white monstrosity loomed, a hybrid dreadnought, not built but forged, as if war itself had taken form. Its organic curves melded with brutal armor the size of a small moon. Plasma cannons, claw-like and merciless, tore through Rudolph's flank in seconds, shields shredding like paper. Massive turbines spun, not for propulsion but as rotary annihilators, carving through the fleet with surgical horror. "Report!" Dalphone roared, gripping the command rail as the Venturi shuddered. Derek's voice was frantic. "Omega-class hybrid dreadnought. Xenocidal threat. Plasma lances, gravitic rams, biosiphon disruptors, adaptive shields. No known vulnerabilities. Is regenerating under fire." Catherine's eyes darted to the tactical display. "It's jamming comms. Blade-like antennae, sensor disruptors, or worse. We've lost 2 wings." The Xerianer ships arrived, their sleek vessels diving into the fray, but the dreadnought turned, its claws ripping through 2 of Harrow's ships in a single pass. Magnus broke free, hitting the enemy from behind, but Rudolph's fleet was a graveyard, his flagship barely intact. High-energy railguns, fire. The Venturis unleashed a barrage, punching a gaping hole in the dreadnought's flank, only for a swarm of Jaeger drones to spill out, a buzzing plague. Fire at will. Dalphone ordered, the bridge a chaos of shouts and alarms. The Femtomites, as Earth's intel later named them, shifted focus, hammering the Xerianer. 3 more of Kuros' ships blinked out. "Status," Dalphone barked. Pompey's voice was grim. "Our fleet's down 70%. Rudolph's out, Magnus is hanging on. 2 Femtomite ships left. Xerianer's got 2 battleships barely holding." Catherine's voice cut through, urgent. "Earth intel says shockwaves hurt them. Derek, rigged torpedoes with electroshock and hybrid apocalypse hydrobombs." Derek's hands shook. "It's hell out there, Admiral. I need time." Ellen shoved past, her face pale but fierce. "I've got this. 2 minutes." Dalphone's eyes locked on hers. "You've got 1. Go." The Femtomites pressed, their Jaegers forming a deadly line. Catherine's voice cracked. "Is this it?" Ellen's scream cut through the chaos. "Ready! Fire!" Torpedoes lanced out, shockwaves and hydrobombs detonating in a blinding cascade. The lead dreadnought staggered, its hull fracturing. "All firepower on that ship!" Dalphone roared. "Finish it!" The Venturis and Magnus remnants poured everything into the beast, reducing it to a smoldering wreck. The second Femtomite ship recalled its Jaegers and fled, vanishing into the void. The Xerianer held their line, battered but alive. Derek's voice shook. "We survived. Barely. If the Xerianer weren't here, we'd be gone." Dalphone's smirk returned, cold and defiant. "Send medics. Save who we can. And Ellen, good work. You're one of us now." The bridge was silent, the weight of the slaughter settling. Nebeco 1 was no pirate hub. It was a trap, and the Femtomites were no ordinary foe. Dalphone's mind raced. The Xerianer, the pirates, Earth's elite, all pieces on his chessboard. And he was still in the game. Chapter 6. Aftermath. The Nebeco 1 system was a charnel house of twisted wreckage and fading plasma trails. The Venturis hung amidst the debris, its hull scorched from the Femtomite slaughter. Admiral Dalphone Pappenheim stood on the bridge, his haze eyes smoldering with a rage he buried beneath cold calculation. The cost was staggering, 70% of his fleet gone. Rudolph's ships obliterated, Magnus barely clinging to life. The Femtomites, these Omega-class horrors, had carved through them like a blade through flesh. And yet the Xerianer's betrayal burned hotter than any alien threat. What were those things? Catherine Phlox demanded, her voice raw with fury. The ship's AI, Kirlin, responded, its tone clinical. Femtomites, originating from Monster System. Top secret classification. Admiral-level clearance required for further data. Bullshit, Catherine snapped. We nearly died out there, and they lock it behind clearance? Dalphone's voice cut through, steady as steel. We're alive, Catherine. So is some Xerianer. Focus on that. Pompey's scarred face twisted. At what cost, Admiral? A new power's risen, and we're limping. Dalphone's smirk was faint, dangerous. Every contact's bloody at first. Remember our early ET days? Shoot first, study the wreckage. We learned better. So will they. Derek, poring over scans, spoke up. Reports in. Nebeck-01 was a black market hub. Pirates trading Magner and Kyrian tech, even ancient levitation relics. It looks like the pirate activated some high-energy device. Then the Femtomites hit, and it all went dark. More questions than answers. Dalphone's eyes narrowed. They're techs beyond us. Someone's feeding them knowledge. The universe is vast, but not that vast. Pompey glanced at the tactical display. Xerianer status? Recovering, Derek said. Lost over half their ships. Their flagship's a wreck, barely mobile. Before Dalphone could respond, a soldier burst in. Admiral, Bondemarkeros demands you board his ship for a meeting. Ellen's voice was sharp. Careful, Admiral. The Xerianer wanted Nebeck-01 alone. They suspect Wenden. They'll want blood. Dalphone's smirk turned wolfish. I'm always prepared, Ellen. Pompey, Catherine, Derek, suit up. Close combat armor. Ellen, you're with us. If it goes south, we fight our way out. The Xerianer flagship was a labyrinth of sleek corridors, its air thick with ozone and hostility. Bondemarkeros waited in a private chamber, flanked by his general staff, scale warriors with glinting eyes and clawed hands. The Venturi's crew entered, their armor suits humming faintly. Ellen's encrypted comms device hidden beneath her gear. Kuros' mandibles clicked, his voice a low hiss. Admiral Dalphone, one of our 7. Still breathing, despite the abyss you led us into. Dalphone's tone was ice. Your fleet's aid was.
Appreciated, Bondema. We both took hits.
Kuros leaned forward, scales bristling. Hits? We lost 3 ships, our flagship's crippled. You claim pirate intel drew you here, but we scanned Nebeck-01 nothing but ancient relics and your silver foe. You knew they were coming, didn't you? Earth orchestrated this to bleed us dry. Dalphone's eyes hardened, but his smirk held. You're reaching, Kuros. We lost more than you. My fleet's a graveyard. How could we know a trap was waiting? A Xerianer officer snarled, claws flexing. Your Wenden stunt reeks of treachery. What did you bargain with the pirates? Spill it, or Earth pays for our losses. Pompey's hand twitched toward his suit's controls. Easy, scale face. We chase pirate leads, same as you. Blaming Earth won't bring your ships back. Kuros' eyes blazed. You dare? Earth's treaty is a leash, and you've slipped it. You'll answer for this, or we'll drag you to our courts, and Earth will bow. Dalphone's voice dropped, lethal. Threaten me again, Kuros, and you'll see how fast I bite. He tapped his gauntlet, and his armor hummed, plates locking into combat mode. Pompey followed, his suit servos whining. The room erupted. Xerianer guards lunged, claws slashing. Dalphone ducked a strike, his gauntlet firing a kinetic pulse that sent a warrior crashing into the wall. Pompey roared, tackling another, his armored fists crunching scales. Catherine's blade flashed, parrying a claw, while Derek unleashed a stun grenade, buying space. Ellen darted to a console, her fingers flying. I'm overriding their lockdown, she shouted, blood trickling from a gash on her arm. A Xerianer charged her, but she twisted, slamming a data spike into the panel. The doors hissed open, alarms blaring. Go! I'll hold the system. Ellen, move! Dalphone barked, blasting another guard. She shook her head, eyes fierce. No time. The comms device. Get it to Zark on Earth. For the Alliance. Dalphone fired a final pulse, collapsing the doorway, then sprinted with his crew through the chaos, dodging plasma bolts. Back on the Venturis, Dalphone stormed to the bridge, his armor scorched. Helmsman, full evasive. Railguns, charge! Catherine's voice shook. Ellen's gone. She saved us. Dalphone's jaw clenched, but his eyes were steel. She brought us a chance. We take it. He opened the channel to the fleet. Magnus, Rudolph survivors, fall back. Xerianers turning hostile. The view screen showed Kuros' flagship, its weapons powering up. Dalphone's smirk was cold, final. The Venturi's railguns roared, hypervelocity slugs tearing through the Xerianer flagship's weakened hull. Explosions bloomed and the ship fractured, a dying star in the void. The remaining Xerianer vessels scattered, too damaged to pursue. Pompey stood beside Dalphone, his voice low. Helen's device.
Zurich.
The Magners. What now? Dalphone's gaze was distant, fixed on the stars. We head home. Find Zurich. Build the Alliance. The Xerianer, the rocks, the Femtomites, they're all pieces on the board. And I'm done playing their game. The Venturas turned, its engines flaring as it left Nabex 01's wreckage behind. Earth awaited, a world of betrayals and battles to come. Dalphone's smirk returned, sharp and unyielding. The war was just beginning.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As mentioned at the beginning, I'll be continuing to explore the universe and will expand the story from time to time. Stay tuned for the next episode.